Chris Brown got on Instagram yesterday and basically told the world that he likes to eat ass. And for you guys that are not familiar with what this whole eating booty, eating ass thing and this fad is coming from, there was a rapper named Kevin Gates that came out a couple of weeks ago and basically was blunt and direct saying that he likes to eat booty. That's what he does. And then you had Trick Daddy come out a couple of weeks ago and say he's an ass eater. And, you know, what people do behind closed doors is your own personal business. You know, some of the people that, you know, we listen to day in and day out on YouTube, or you might see at work, or, you know, on TV or whatever, or into some nasty, freaky shit behind closed doors. But that's their own personal business. But the first time, you know, when I saw Chris Brown post this on Instagram, the first thing that popped in my mind is that why are you giving the media another reason to come after you? And this is the same guy that made videos and songs talking about how people are always talking about him, and you know they always got his name in their mouth, and they're always talking negative about him, and they won't let the whole Rihanna thing go. But you are doing things that are keeping your name out there in the media and giving them a reason to talk about you in a negative light. And you know, Chris Brown, you know, he's a young guy. He does have a lot of growing up to do. And I've made videos on how the media attacks this guy because they do. You know, they won't let that whole Rihanna thing be in the past. But he continuously goes out here and does little stunts, says certain things to basically keep his name out there in the light. So when I look at it, I'm looking at it like, okay, well, you can't play both sides of the fence. Don't talk about how the media is attacking you and the media is always talking about you in a negative light, but then you're posting things on Instagram like this, saying that you like to eat ass. Now, I don't give a damn. That's what you do. You like to lick balls. You know, that's what you do in your personal life. That's your own business. It doesn't concern me. But when you got cats out here, you know, coming out here saying they eat ass and they do this, or, you know, they like to fuck horses or whatever, but then you turn around and you get mad because people are talking about you in a negative light, I have a big issue with that. But, you know, I'm a kind of fall back on this Chris Brown guy right here. You know, I've made videos, more than probably about 2-3 videos on how the media talks about Chris Brown in a negative light. But I see this guy putting a lot of little different stunts that I feel like, you know, he is trying to basically be an attention whore. So, you know, you're not going to see any videos of me in the future talking about Chris Brown, because I think this guy, you know, he hasn't learned how to maneuver and operate itself through the industry. You know, you have to understand that when you are a celebrity or you're someone in the public eye, you can't do everything that you want to do. There's things that you can't do that maybe the average person that has a regular 9-to-5 job can do on social media. And even with average people, there's things that you have to watch, because you have employers that will be sneaky. Don't think you're your boss, you know, that work at Taco Bell, you know, is not getting on Facebook looking up your first and last name and seeing what you're posting on your timeline. You know, a lot of you guys are just not street smart. You don't think about things before you actually do them. You know, there's people out here that you might go apply for a job, and they'll say, okay, you know, they had a good interview, you know, good application, good resume. Let's go on Facebook. Let's do a little background checking. And you get denied for a job simply because of the things that you post on your timeline. So you have to be very careful with things that you do out here in general. But I think celebrities and people who are in the public eye really have to be careful with the type of images that they put out. But that's all I gotta say about this ass eater right here. Hey, eat away. If you want to eat dookie shits, that's your business, but don't put the shit on social media. I'm out.